From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, a story we broke on Sunday, has new developments as searchers have recovered the body of a 33-year-old Fort Wainwright Army soldier who apparently drowned last evening at Chena Lakes. According to Alaska State Trooper spokesman Tim Despain, the incident happened around 7 p.m. News Center 11 was on scene as firefighters dragged the lake bed with the victim's wife, children, and fellow soldiers keeping vigil on shore. Just before midnight, as darkness fell, the search was suspended for the still unidentified man. Divers and other firefighters resumed their search this morning, finding the man's body around 12:40 p.m. Despain says the man had been swimming about 100 yards offshore when he began having difficulty and started calling for help. Despain says the man went under the water before help could arrive. State troopers who were on scene say their heart goes out to the family and friends of the victim.
Absolutely. There's nothing you can really say to them in those situations. You know, I can't begin to imagine how it would be to have that happen right in front of you, but we just do the best we can to try and do our jobs. What a lot of people don't realize is that this isn't a swimming pool. You know, we don't have water temperatures 70 degrees or better. You know, this is cold water. And you can be a strong swimmer in good shape, but if you're not used to the water temperatures and you go out there swimming and get a little bit fatigued, you can cramp up in a hurry. And it's not like running. If you're running and you cramp up, you can always stop and rest, but you can't stop and rest in the water. So, you know, it's that cold water that can make you cramp up and cause problems for you.
Meanwhile, another Army soldier, also from Fort Wainwright, was killed in a boating accident Saturday morning near Glen Allen. State troopers responded to a report that a boat had sunk and 4 people were in the water of the Clutina River near Copper Center. Troopers say 3 Fort Wainwright soldiers and one of the soldiers' sons were on a jet boat fishing when the boat had engine problems. The boat operator, 39-year-old Columbus Jones, was unable to steer the boat, which hit a rock and flipped over. Jones and his 11-year-old son, Columbus Jones III, were rescued, as was 23-year-old George Brady. 23-year-old Christopher Covington was washed downstream and wasn't breathing when he was picked up by a jet boat. Efforts to revive him with CPR failed, and he was pronounced dead at the Crossroad Medical Center at Glen Allen. State troopers and other authorities already investigating the apparent drowning inside of Chena Lakes were dispatched to a single vehicle accident just outside of the recreation area that has left a 34-year-old North Pole woman critically injured. Troopers got the call just after 11:30 p.m. News Center 11 was at the scene as authorities were conducting their investigation. They say the woman, identified as Nicole Kreitz, was traveling at a high rate of speed when she lost control of her late-model Dodge Ram pickup truck on a series of curves. Troopers say the vehicle rolled repeatedly and struck a tree before coming to rest. Kreitz was transported to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Troopers say they're not sure if alcohol or drugs played a role in the accident. Their investigation into the incident continues. The Regulatory Commission of Alaska will hold 2 separate hearings in Fairbanks this week. The first will be Tuesday from 4 until 10 p.m. at the Borough Administrative Center at 809 Pioneer Road. The purpose of the hearing is to receive public comment on 2 separate applications to provide natural gas service in the area. Other subjects will be discussed at a Wednesday meeting.
The hearing will be on the applications, 2 applications before the commission. One from the Fairbanks Natural Gas LLC and the other, the Interior Alaska Natural Gas Utility. And it's just an opportunity for interested persons to give their testimony and present any comments before the commissioners. And then on Wednesday, we have another special public meeting, and this is a separate event, and there'll be some presentations given by some of the local utilities there. And this meeting will be from 9 a.m. To when it's complete.
Alaskans will officially be able to decide whether the state legislature got it right on oil tax reform in the 2014 primary election. The Division of Elections confirmed Monday morning 31,673 signatures to repeal SB 21 passed during the legislative session earlier this year to lower the tax rate on oil and gas industry. In just 90 days from the bill's, advocates for a repeal collected 1,500 signatures, more than the number required to get on the ballot in just 90 days from the bill's passage. A former state lawmaker who pleaded guilty to a federal corruption charge in 2011 is running for Wasilla City Council. The Wasilla city clerk confirmed Monday that Vic Coring is eligible to run for the seat in the October 1st election. The clerk's office says to be eligible, a candidate must be registered to vote and must have been a community resident for the past year. State Division of Elections Director Gail Finumii says Coring has been an eligible voter in Alaska since his re-registration date of April 30th. In a 2011 plea deal, Coring pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit bribery concerning programs that receive federal funds. He was sentenced to time served. The charge stemmed from maneuverings surrounding a 2006 oil tax vote in the state legislature. Now, when we come back, an Alaska village sees an unusually high number of TB cases. Also, the latest report is out on Alaska gas prices. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. The commander of Pacific Air Forces said this morning that Eielson Air Force Base appears to be the favorite to be selected as the first overseas base for the Joint Strike Fighter. That basing's process is expected to wrap up in early 2014. General Herbert Carlisle also said he has no hesitation about taking the aircraft to war in 2016 if necessary, with the software package the Air Force has agreed to accept. Now, the Air Force is close to confirming that its first active-duty F-35 operational squadron will be housed at Hill Air Force Base, Utah, but its second is destined for the Pacific region, and that could be Eielson. Alaska state health officials say they have responded to a village in the Yukon-Kuskokwim region that experienced a spike in active tuberculosis cases. Officials say 8 active cases of TB have been confirmed since March. The village has not been identified. Michael Cooper, the Tuberculosis Control Program Manager for the Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, says there is no cause for alarm. Cooper says treatment and public health control measures are implemented for each case of active tuberculosis. TB is an infectious disease primarily affecting the lungs. Now, officials recommend screening if people have a persistent cough, along with other symptoms that are associated with the disease.
The main purpose of the press release wasn't to alert, Alaskans statewide that there's some unusual thing that might affect them. It was more to get something out for the people in that region to use as a tool to reassure them that we're investigating and we've got a good handle on things. So it's good, always good to raise awareness that, TB is certainly around, and be vigilant if you develop those symptoms.
Retail gas prices in Alaska have fallen 0.4 cents per gallon in the past week, bringing it to an average of $4.03 a gallon. That is according to Gas Buddy's daily survey of 398 gas outlets in Alaska. This compares with the national average of $3.65 a gallon. While prices were 4.8 cents per gallon higher than a month ago for Alaska, the national average was up nearly 15 cents a gallon. Declining crude inventories are expected to cause prices to start moving upward again soon. According to a new study of the Yukon Flats region, the world's boreal forests are burning at a rate considered historically unprecedented. Researchers in the study concluded fire rates would likely continue to grow in the future. The study was published last week in the Proceedings of the National Academy of the Sciences. Researchers say both fire frequency and the amount of biomass burned are higher now than they've been in the past 10,000 years. State Forester Chris Mace says both the length of the fire season and the intensity of the fires have increased in just the past decade. Approximately 10 years ago, the Lathrop High School class of 2003 took their first steps into the future by graduating. Now, since that time, it's no doubt many have embarked on the usual path, which is college or athletics, employment, and children. Few, however, have traveled the road taken by Roxanne Turner. After graduating from college and taking that usual road through adulthood and life, Turner was given an opportunity to enhance the lives of others less fortunate, and she hasn't looked back. In the spring of 2009, Turner founded One World with the simple purpose of connecting young Ugandan women who are being denied the right of education with compassionate supporters who recognize the value of educating women of the world. Currently, there are 23 girls receiving services through the organization, and Turner says her passion for the work runs so deep, she is now legal guardian to 3 of the girls. The News Center spoke to Turner recently about the venture.
It's a story that I haven't shared with that many people. Even my family, they would know that I was going to Africa, and I'm the crazy little sister of the family. And my friends, they didn't really know. And if people asked, I would share a little bit. But number one, I don't talk a lot as it is. And the work that I am doing it's hard to even call it work. But what I'm doing in Uganda, it's been very personal, and it just started so small. It was just something that I was doing, and then, you know, a few people approached me and, what are you doing?
Since its beginnings just 4 years ago, One World has grown into One World Today. That's a nonprofit corporation and backed by a board of directors Turner says is committed to supporting the educational achievement of underprivileged girls. News Center 11's Daryl Lewis will have more on this story later this week. Well, looks like Joe is taking the night off, which leaves us the two Ds, Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark. That's right, man. The birthday boy is out running the streets. Brings back some memories, huh? Sure. Coming up, the Gold Panthers lose their season finale, but it's all good just the same. And we'll head up to UAF's West Ridge for the Run for the Refuge. Big fun on a Sunday. Come on back. Sports is coming up next. And welcome back, Interior Alaska. Daryl Lewis holding it down on a big Monday for the birthday boy. Hope he's enjoying himself, which means you've got me in the sports seat this evening. Hope you're having a good day. And now to make it even better, let's talk some sports. We're going to start this puppy up by lacing up the running shoes. The Northern Alaska Environmental Center's 17th annual Run for the Refuge took place on Sunday at the University of Alaska Fairbanks West Ridge Ski Hut. Both 5 and 10K courses as participants braved temperatures that hovered near 90 degrees. Meanwhile, one particular sportscaster kept vigil, in the shade no less, as the runners began coming through the chute. In the 5K, longtime Interior resident Mark Ross, first for the men, and 11-year-old Maggie Druckenmiller representing the women. Yeah, baby girl, gotta love that. Now in the 10K race, Max Kaufman held it down for the men, and Elise Holscher was first for the women. Now, the run is a fun, community-oriented celebration of the protection of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, and this year it celebrated the 53rd anniversary of the Arctic Refuge. Those I spoke to came from near and far, some as far away as the great state of Ohio, to visit family and put in some work for a good cause.
The senior games, I've run the Boston Marathon, and I haven't seen my daughter in a year, so that we want to spend as much time together here while I'm here visiting for a few days. So we're running the race.
There's some legislation that may go through for more exploration and drilling, so people should be aware, send letters, give support, and support NAEC. They're a very good organization. They've been here since the late 70s doing good work.
Talk to me about your run.
It was so hot, and I poured 2 buckets of water on my head at the end, and I didn't think I'd beat that guy, but I don't know, it's just really cool.
It's a great event to come out and support the Northern Center. They do great work, and it's special to run in honor of the Anwar Arctic Refuge.
Anytime I can support that, I'm so pleased to be part of it. It's a nice race. It was very challenging.
That's some real good stuff. Okay. The Alaska Gold Panthers this weekend dropped their season finale 4-3 to the Matsu Miners. Yeah. But on Friday, the Panthers clinched the Alaska Baseball League regular season title at Groudon Memorial Park by sweeping a doubleheader from the Miners as well. The Gold Panthers rallied for 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to win the first game 9-8, then used a 4-run 5th inning to break a 2-2 tie and win the second 9-6. Coupled with the Chugiak Chinooks' 8-5 win against the Anchorage Bucks, the Gold Panthers held on to, at the time, had a 2-game lead in the ABL. The Bucks fell to 20-14, while the Miners fell to 19-15. Nick Catalano came through with a 1-out bases-loaded single to score David Fletcher and David Edwards to cap the Gold Panthers' 3-run rally in the first game, which featured 17 runs and 24 hits. Now in the nightcap, the Gold Panthers snapped a 2-2 tie with 4 runs in the 5th to win going away. It's a party, everyone was invited, and afterwards, a happy bunch of Gold Panthers.
But Coach, just talk about this one. No, that was actually a real interview. I saw him and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to play it off.
Excitement, just extremely thrilled with not just how my boys played today, but how they played the entire season. We just kept coming back. We've always fought no matter what the score was. We added on when we got a lead. And today was just like the same thing that we've been doing all season. We've been coming back when we're behind, and we keep on adding on when we're ahead.
Once we got all the guys in, and about probably late June, early July is when we really turned things on. We went on like an 11-game winning streak or something like that. Really, we were playing well, and we knew we had a shot at that point. Harris always was believing, and he really knew we could do it, so it was great.
I think there's something special about playing in Fairbanks, and I think that other teams don't understand sort of the light and the field, and we know how to play here. And the fans really came out this weekend, and I think that was a big part of it, and they really supported us. And it's awesome for Harris to help out his career, and I think it's just fun for everybody.
It's been a great year. I kind of felt like we would have had it. We played a great team, the minors, especially at the end. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got it done.
Congratulations, fellas. Next up, the ABL postseason tournament in Anchorage and Eagle River. Panners have a bye, then they're back in action a week from tomorrow against these same Matsoon Miners. And that's going to do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rolling with me for a spell. For more KTVF sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app. That's right, whatever's your flavor. But for now, don't go anywhere, because the unofficial dean of this interior weather thing, Mr. Mike Schultz, is back, and he's bringing some good news from what I hear. He's next. We'll see you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you on a hot Monday, talking about hot temperatures to continue through the rest of the week. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Starting off with our photograph. This was sent in by Daniel Sladen. Stop and smell the marigolds. Nice shot there of a little guy smelling the marigolds outside of his house. If you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Right now, 81 degrees out at the airport. That's our high for the day. The low last night, 64. Record high, 95 in 1919. So this is the time of year where you can get really hot. The overnight low, 33 in 1929. And your sunrise and sunset works out to 18 hours and 21 minutes of daylight, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. Satellite picture showing showers and thunderstorms south of the Alaska Range to the north. Not too much going on. Very nice weather across the rest of the state. A very quiet pattern too. As you can see, once again over southeast Alaska, pretty warm temperatures at Juneau, 80 degrees, 76 in Anchorage, lots of sunshine, a few scattered clouds. More clouds over the west coast and all the way up to the north slope, where Barrow is only 35 degrees for the high there today. Lower 48 weather. Once again, warm temperatures are covering a large portion of the country. Not as hot as it has been over the desert southwest, but still pretty darn warm. And showers and thunderstorms also scattered across much of the country. On the satellite and radar, you can see a lot of energy moving across the central plains. A little bit of activity still hanging around the Rockies, but things are drying out across the desert southwest. And as far as what's going to lie ahead, it looks like more storms expected tomorrow. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. In the northern sections, rainy skies at Barrow, partly cloudy skies for Nome and Fort Yukon. While here in the interior, we'll be looking at sunny skies at Fairbanks, but there's a chance of some isolated showers or thunderstorms in the Healy area. Over southeast Alaska, we're looking at sunny skies in Juneau, scattered clouds at Ketchikan, while over the southwest part of the state, chance of rain for Cold Bay, variable cloudiness in Kodiak, and isolated thunder showers at Bethel. And over south central regions, it looks like partly cloudy skies for the entire region. Nice weather. Temperatures of 73 degrees at Anchorage. And our forecast for tonight, again, the overnight low, 59 degrees, partly cloudy, breezes slowly diminishing. And tomorrow's forecast calling for 82 degrees, mostly sunny skies, continue very warm. And the outlook is calling for the warm temperatures to continue. In fact, you are going to be part of history here as far as the weather goes. The warmest summer ever on record. How about that? Is that a record we want to last with? I don't know. Overnight lows also in the mid to upper 50s. So hot temperatures continuing, guys, until maybe Sunday.
All right, that's perfection, Mike. We'll take that any day of the week. And in fact, we'll have it for the next 5 days. All right, we've run out of time. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. From all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great evening.
Good night.